Hello, and welcome to the Living My Human Design podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Hoover, and I'm so excited that you're here. I have been on a self-healing journey since my early 20s, and when I discovered human design in January of 2021, I felt like I had finally found what I had spent the last 20 years searching for. I believe that if we live as our authentic selves, having forgiveness, compassion, love, and understanding in our hearts, that ripples out and positively impacts everyone we interact with. That is how we have the biggest positive impact on the world. My purpose is to be a beacon of light in the world, attracting those who have broken down, fallen apart, and are stuck under the weight of life, and help them rise up as their true authentic selves. By sharing my human design experiment through this podcast, I hope to encourage others to begin their own healing journey by experimenting with their own human design. Continue listening and join me on this life-changing experiment of self-discovery. Hello, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking type and strategy. So if you haven't already done so, you're going to want to go to my website, livingmyhumandesign.com, and pull your free human design chart so that you can determine what your type and strategy are as you continue listening to this podcast. And then having a copy of your human design chart will also help you in future episodes. So again, you can get your chart at livingmyhumandesign.com, and there is a link down below in the show notes. Now, type and strategy really go hand in hand, and type is based on your definition and was created by Ra Uru after the initial download to help him teach human design. Type is how we communicate energetically through our aura and how we're designed to interact with the world for the greatest ease and flow. The aura is the energetic body that surrounds our physical bodies, and it extends out 6 feet around us in every direction. And each type has a different type of aura and a different way that each aura is designed to energetically communicate and dance with the quantum. And each type has a specific strategy. And strategy is the way each human design type is designed to receive communication from the universe and follow the little breadcrumbs that lead to alignment. Strategy is what guides us down our soul's path. There are 5 different types within human design, and those types are manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. And within these 5 different types, there are 2 categories. We have our energy types, which have a defined motor and a consistent and reliable access to generate and initiate manifesting energy. And then we have our non-energy types, which usually do not have defined motors, which means they have inconsistent access to generate and initiate manifesting energy. And because of this, they're not designed to work long hours. Our energy types are the manifestors, the generators, and the manifesting generators, and our non-energy types are the projectors and the reflectors. This episode, we are going to focus just on projectors. At the end of the episode, I will give you some journaling prompts, so if you're a projector, you can start experimenting with your strategy and type and to see what rings true for you. There will be a separate episode for each of the types, and if you want, you can go ahead and skip to your type, or you can join us and learn about the projectors in your life. So projectors are able to see potential and see possibility, and they are the guides. Projectors have an open sacral and no motor connected to the throat, and they make up 20% of the population. Now, a projector's aura is a very focused aura that is penetrating and absorbing. It provokes recognition and it wants to be seen and attracts invitations. Projectors represent a new energy archetype that emerged after 1781, and they're not really at home in our current society that's all about work, work, work. They're not designed to be in the world the same way that generators and manifesting generators are. They're not designed to work a 9-to-5 work day. They're all about working smarter, not harder, and can often accomplish more in 3 to 4 hours than many accomplish in 8 hours. And so conditioning really needs to be addressed up front with projectors, because we do not live in a society that really thinks that less is more when it comes to work. And as a result, projectors can sometimes feel lazy because they don't have the same energy as generators and manifesting generators, who make up 70% of the global population. Now, the magic of projectors is they're able to see the potential of people, places, and the universe, and they can see how that potential can be fulfilled. They can tell when energy is being used well, and they can tell when energy isn't being used well. And they're here to be the great directors, guiding and supporting others as they initiate and build the world. Projectors can see what others can't see, and they can really see the big picture and recognize the talents and the gifts in others. They're here to help people refine, improve, and upgrade. And in order for projectors to be able to do their work, they need to be recognized by the rest of us. They need attention. They need to be able to talk things out, and they need people to see them, appreciate them, and acknowledge them. But the flip side of this is that projectors are unable to see their own potential or gifts. And that is why it's really important for projectors to focus on self-healing and invest in their own self-worth. Now, because projectors have a non-motorized throat, they need people to see them in order to get their energy to the throat. And that brings us to the projector strategy, and they must wait for an invitation to offer their wisdom and the potential that they see. Once they receive the invitation, then they can keep delivering their wisdom on a topic. So an invitation for a projector says, I see your wisdom. I see your guidance. I see that you can see what I can't see. And it's super important for the projector to invest in their own self-worth. They need to see and acknowledge themselves first. They need to recognize that they have value. Because when a healthy self-worth is intact, a projector becomes a hugely compelling person. If projectors do not wait for the invitation, no matter how amazing you or your wisdom is, it will not be heard or received. Many projectors have experienced saying something without an invitation and it not being received, and then 5 minutes later, someone else says the exact same thing, and all of a sudden, it's brilliant and it's amazing and it's a great idea. So again, it's really, really important for projectors to wait for that invitation. And then in your downtime, it's really important to play. Study what you want to study. Do your hobbies. Read. And just lighten up. This will also help contribute to your investing in your self-worth so that you can attract more invitations in the future. So there are 3 categories of projectors. We have the mental projectors, which have no definition before the throat, and they have a defined ajna or both a defined head and ajna. And since they have such an open design, they tend to have a lot of reliance, or they tend to rely a lot on their mind. And it's really important for them to tap into their environment through their undefined centers. Because they have this open design, they're really open to conditioning. And then we have our energy projectors, and these projectors still have an undefined sacral, but they do have one or more other motors defined, such as the ego, the heart center, the solar plexus, or the root. And they really need to be diligent about who they accept invitations from, because others are able to sense their energy and may use their energy to fill a vacant spot or to get a job done. And it's also really important for them to expend their energy either by doing something that they enjoy or through proper recognition and invitations. And then we have the classic projector, and all of their definition is below the throat, but it does not include any motors. So they can really test the fuel from the motors of others to determine what is correct for them. And it gives them the potential to be more selective about which invitations to accept. And they need to be very conscious of their environment and make sure that they're not letting in a lot of energies that are not aligned to them, as it could really affect their overall well-being. And when projectors are aligned with their design, life will be magical for them, and they'll never have to chase anything. Everything will just come to them. So, what are the signs that a projector is living in alignment with their type or their strategy? Well, in human design, we have signature, which is the result of you living in alignment with your type and strategy. These are your emotional alignment clues that let you know that you are living in alignment with your type and strategy. I know I'm repeating myself. Imperfect action here as a manifesting generator. So a projector's signature is success. When you feel successful, then you know that you're aligned with your design. And projectors thrive in success. Success to them is seeing people living their fullest potential. And then we have our not self in human design, which is like the ego. It's the conditioning, the patterns and fear-based responses that are not in alignment with you. And we're exposed to conditioning from a really young age. It comes from our parents, our families, school, the media, our community, advertising, and human design can help us see where we are most susceptible to conditioning. And it shows us the most dominant emotion that we feel when we're out of alignment. And it can also be the most dominating feeling that we experience from others. And for projectors, this feeling is bitterness. They can become bitter when they see the unmet potential in the world. And they're pissed off that people who could be more choose not to be. Now, sleep is all about rest, recovery, and recharging. And because projectors have a lot of openness within their design, they need to spend time in their own aura every evening just to reconnect with themselves and to release any energy that they've been holding on to. So projectors should go to bed before they're tired and lay horizontally to help release that energy. And it's best for projectors to sleep in their own aura if they can. Well, I think that pretty much does it for projectors. Now, take a moment to pause the podcast and grab yourself a piece of paper and a pencil or a notebook or something that you can jot these journaling prompts on. I'm going to go ahead and give them to you verbally now, but they'll also be down below in the show notes. And it would be best if you can try to do these first couple of journaling prompts right after listening to your Type and Strategy podcast. Okay, so our first question is, what ahas did I have after learning about my type and strategy? What really resonates with me about my type and strategy? Where in my life have I already been living aligned with my type and I didn't even realize it? When in my life have I followed my strategy and things went really well? And what am I going to do more of now that I know my type and strategy? So all awareness is the knowledge and understanding that something is happening or exists. It brings your attention to something, and where attention goes, energy flows. And just becoming aware of your type and strategy can start moving you towards alignment of your human design. So throughout the rest of this week, just be aware of your type and strategy in each day. Be aware of when you're waiting for an invitation before sharing your wisdom. Is it received better? Be aware of your energy level. Are you needing some more downtime? Are you taking time to study what you want to study? Are those emotional clues of success or bitterness showing up? And then at the end of each day, let's take this type and strategy experiment deeper and just spend a couple minutes each evening on the following journaling prompts. How was I aligned with my type today? How did I follow my strategy today? What invitations did I respond to? How was my day overall? And I always like to end my day with gratitude because I feel if I go to sleep on a positive note, then I wake up in a much better mood and my outlook on the day is a lot better. So take a moment and list 5 things that you're grateful for at the end of each day. I recommend doing this journaling practice all week so that you can really connect with your type and your strategy. And throughout the week, I'll be popping into Instagram and on Facebook to share how my experiment is currently going. And feel free to share with me how your experiment is going. Let me know what's resonating with you and your wins. And share with me how your strategy and type is showing up in your life. And also, it's a great place to ask questions, and I'll do my best to answer them within Instagram and Facebook, but then I also might answer them in the next podcast because we'll be focusing on type and strategy for about a month. We'll spend a month within each of the different parts of human design so that we can really connect with that energy and really see how it affects us on a day-to-day basis. And then after we're done with type and strategy, we'll move on to our authority. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you for listening all the way to the end of the podcast. If you like what you heard here today, please take a moment to leave a review. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified when the next episode is released. If you have any questions, please connect with me on Instagram or Facebook. You can find the links down below in the show notes. And don't forget to grab your free copy of your human design chart from my website, livingmyhumandesign.com, or you can click the link in the show notes below. And if you're interested in an in-depth conversation about your human design chart, you can schedule an unpack with me at my website, livingmyhumandesign.com. Again, that link is in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to catching you on the next podcast. Talk to you soon.